Well, hello and welcome everyone. My name is Amy Edwards. I am a gold consultant, and today we're going to talk about booking houses, condos, and cabins. So the first thing I always like to say, and especially for new agents, is as a new agent, you can pretty much book anything, anything, anywhere that's available for your clients to stay in. Now, where you book it or how you book it is what is going to be the difference. If it goes through Archer Travel or one of Archer Travel's vendors, whether preferred or not preferred vendor, then of course it's going to be a standard booking through an online portal that you're going to create a login for. And they're going to send Archer Travel the commissions, and then the commissions are going to come to you. But as we all know, many vacation homes are privately owned or from a private property management company. And so in the travel cafe, there may not be a direct login or a direct website to be able to book these on. There are quite a few, and I'm going to show you a few, but I'm also going to show you how to access the ones that aren't in there. Many times when we get a client, they've already probably found the place they wanted to stay, or maybe it's a small B&B, someplace they've stayed before, and so they'd like you to help them get that booking. Now, the famous words out of most people's mouth is, here's where I've stayed before, here's where I'd like to stay, can you get it cheaper? Know in your mind that you can't always get it cheaper, and that's okay, because you're also providing a service to them. You're researching it, you're booking it, you're helping them to alleviate some of that pressure of doing so and to give them some of their time back. So even if you get it for the same price, it's usually okay. Don't try to, scour the internet or waste a lot of time always getting it cheaper. And I always like to tell new agents that, of course, it's amazing if we can, and we're always going to try, but it just isn't always possible every time, especially if it's for just a small business trying to rent out one or two homes. Sometimes they don't always have the option to give a discount on pricing. So now that I've said that, I'm going to show you a few ways to be able to do it as well outside of the Archer Travel booking portal. Now, if you are not giving that Archer Travel IATN number to a direct place to book, know that you aren't always protected under Archer Travel's policies. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that. So you can get the daily commissions, you can charge bookings out or commissions outside of Archer Travel, but you want to know in the back of your head that if you are booking, let's just give an example, your neighbor's home, and you're just walking over there saying, hey, I have a client who wants to stay here for a week. Here is their credit card information. It isn't really passing through Archer Travel, so it's kind of a booking outside of Archer Travel. So always work with your mentor and explain to them how your booking is so that you can learn the processes of that and make sure that you're covered. So the first thing that I want to show you is in Rising Tide and the Rising Tide website, risingtide3.com. If anyone isn't a member of Rising Tide 3, let me know. I can show you how to sign up. Many teams have their own website, and that's fine too, probably has the same information. But for this, I'm going to show you Rising Tide. Oh, you guys aren't members. Okay, it's okay to be a member too, along with your team's website. So if you are not a member, let me give you the address here in the chat box. I'm going to go ahead and log out so I can show you how to do that. So when you go to Rising Tide, it's going to look like this. Up in the top right-hand corner, you're going to click on Login. Maybe. Let's get that to open. Okay, then the sign up site's going to look like this. If you already have a username and a password, that's going to be here. If you are new to this site, you can click on Sign Up. And then you're going to put in your first name, your last name, your email. You're going to create a password, your agent ID. The passcode word is going to be freedom, F-R-E-E-D-O-M. I put that in the chat box as well. You're going to put in your phone number and your sponsor's name. It takes about 24 to 48 hours to be approved. And then you're going to get an email if there's any problems or if you accidentally put in some information incorrectly. So I'm going to go ahead and log in then. On this website, there are a lot of trainings. We are working on updating the trainings and getting them up to date. So some of them might be a little outdated, but still apply a lot of great information, even if it's dated, you know, for 2020 or 2021. So feel free to explore in here and understand that some of these things are a little different than what your team might do, because your platinum leader may do things just a little bit different, and that is okay. So for this training, I am going to show you to go to the travel tab and houses, condos, and cabins. In this tab is going to be a list of suggested sites to book for houses, condos, and cabins. Some of them you register as a travel agent. Some of them do not have direct travel agent portals. So you always want to call. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll Google first. Like I know that Vacasa does because I've used them before. So I will just jump on Google and I'll type in Vacasa for travel agents. And I'll either click on their site and try to sign up using Archer's IATA number, or if I can't find it, I will call and see if they work with Archer Travel using the IATA number. Vacasa does. There is a training on Vacasa directly. I believe Emily Jimenez did that training. If you want to go look for that. With Vacasa, they have a site that you can actually book that looks a lot like their normal site, but it is for travel agents, and they have a lot of houses and condos, especially in like the Florida Keys, the Panhandle, Texas. There are quite a few places that they have. To go back to this list here, so if you want to search for a travel agent portal site, you can just type that into Google and look for that site. A couple of these are in the Travel Cafe, not all of them. But feel free to look through some of these if you're looking for a place to book any houses, condos, or cabins. You can also just go to Google and search for a place, or if your client has asked for a direct location that they want, you can see if it falls in this list, or if you find something on Google, you can contact them directly. So there is one place. The next one I'm going to show you is in the Travel Cafe. Everyone, I hope, is familiar with the Travel Cafe. So the Travel Cafe is maintained by Archer Travel, our host travel agency. And this is where you can get all of the information on registering with vendors. I always tell new agents, when you're registering with, when you're calling, or when you're booking for the first few times, make sure you get on here and you look at the little index card that Archer Travel has for each one of its vendors. There's one in particular I'm going to show you here, and it's called My Profit Agility. In the Travel Cafe, it is under Resort Weeks and Condos on the left in the menu. So My Profit Agility, you've probably heard quite a bit about. A lot of people use this as well for daily commissions because you charge commissions outside. Well, you can charge commissions outside of My Profit Agility to make income right away. I like My Profit Agility because they're the unused weeks of, timeshares. A resort just wants to fill up some time. And so you find your best deals if you're booking within 60 days of travel. They do allow it within 1 year to book, but within 60 days, you're getting your best prices. If you haven't registered with them already, here is the access code and here is the link. So you're just going to click this link. It's going to ask you for an access code, and then it's going to have you put in all of your information. I, of course, already have a login here, so I'm going to go ahead and log into that just so I can walk you through kind of what it looks like. I've actually used this quite a few times for myself. The one small thing about My Profit Agility is typically when you book them, that's it. There's no refunds, there's no reschedules. Sometimes you can call the property and get it, but it is a little bit tough. Any training for My Profit Agility, they actually have holds that you can place for a couple of days. Any trainings on commission control, all here. They have some really great trainings. They also offer trainings a couple times a month. Once you register, you'll get emails from them. So up here, you can see they have the resort weeks and the hotels. And then if you have any properties on hold, they will be here. As you can see it scrolling here, the resort weeks, that one's up to 12 months in advance. And this one is within 60 days. I'm going to go ahead and click on there to kind of show you what you can find within 60 days. These also work really well with mock bookings because you can put a flyer out, give your clients a great price, and just let them know that space or availability is very limited. And so you can get some pretty quick bookings out of these. These are what they call the last minute resorts. You can filter by destination, by occupancy, how many people are going. There's so many different sort features. Oh, that's okay, Kimberly. I can go back to the code in just a minute. I think it's $ travel 2019 $, but I can go back in there in just a moment and get that. All right, so just really quick, I'm going to show you this first one as an example. Here's a photo of the property, the title of the property. This one is in Dominican Republic. How many stars, ratings? The dates that are available, so 4/30 through May 7th. As you can see here, thank you, Rachel. Rachel put that code into there. 4/30 through May 7, but if you look down, it's also got May 7 through May 14. These are typically always a week. It's going to tell you the room type. And then this price here with the line through it is the suggested retail value. So typically what people can find this for is $2,750 for the week. However, as a travel agent, we get this for $256.39. So your standard commission, of course, is right around 10% or $256.60, but you can go all the way up to $900 in commissions for this one. So you can scroll through here. There are many pages. You can filter these by destinations. They're absolutely amazing. They're in the US, they're outside of the US. Some of them are all-inclusive. As you can see here, you could do all-inclusive only. If you open them up, I'm going to go ahead and select on the first one. Again, it's going to be all of the property information. You have to be very careful what you give to your client, though. This right here is a link that Profit Agility has allowed you to share, but they don't want you to share the exact deal or where you got it. So you have to be really careful what you give to them. Description of the property. Here are all the rooms and the dates that they have available. These dates are pretty much it. This is what they have to offer. So as you can see here, they have these 3 rooms available. Sleeps 2, sleeps 3, sleeps 4. That's all they have for these 3 dates at this price. If it's all inclusive, it'll tell you in here if you have to add additional funds, because many times you have to pay for the all-inclusive price at the property. If there are parking fees, excuse me, just one moment. If there are any kind of parking fees or any kind of additional fees, it's also going to tell you that typically in the resort information. So always look for that to see if they have to pay anything once they get on site. If you were to click book here, again, very easy to book with them, but this is the maximum suggested sale price at $2,750. Here is what you are going to get it for as an agent. Here is where you can control your commission. Let's say you want to just bump that up to a maximum commission amount. You can adjust it by 250, by 100, by 50. If you wanted to go yourself, you could just get it for that reduced price. Or Yanni actually has, Yanni, I believe you say her name Cabrasia, I think that's right. She has a really good training on how to make daily commission from this. So what she does is she reduces that commission all the way down to 0, and then she charges her commission outside of the booking. So the customer or the client actually pays in 2 different payments. They pay for the property, and then they pay her directly for the commission amount. So I could adjust this all the way up to where I was making 775 and the client was still saving about $600 here. Always read through your cancellation policies. Again, these are typically non-refundable. Any questions at all on my profit agility? All right. So now for the next part, I'm going to walk you through how to book like through Airbnb and VRBO. So with Airbnb and VRBO, we all know that you can't book directly with them because they are, Debbie asked if there's travel insurance included. So my Profit Agility doesn't offer travel insurance, but there are some places that you can purchase travel insurance outside of the booking. And I apologize if somebody in here can remind me. I believe Alliance and AIG. I know a couple of them we were able to work with, and some of them we haven't.
Hi, I just wanted to interrupt just real quick. Just got a message from Jose this week. We do not have any insurance providers at this time that we work with. They have canceled AIG and Alliance, but the client can feel free to go onto their websites and purchase the insurance themselves, but we don't have any insurance that we can offer other than what's included with like ALG in order to get commission. They're working on something right now.
Okay. So yeah, if it's not directly through that booking portal, we don't have a third party travel insurance right now. But as she said, you can have the client go to those third parties and get that insurance. I believe I had an agent was even able to call and get a quote to let him know how much it is to help him kind of get it set up. So that's an option as well. All right, so I'm going to walk you through, and Profit Agility used to have insurance. So
I'm sorry.
It to be there. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can I ask a question? When you do get, just for my understanding, if they got insurance credit through VAX, I guess if let's say someone gets the LG insurance, what's actually covered in there, or is just different things that are covered, or do you know?
Through VAX? When you
like if you get the third party. Go ahead.
So the third party outside of the booking isn't available right now. But through VAX offers their own insurance. And so through VAX, you can purchase the travel insurance still, and the exact items that are covered are in the link that VAX gives you.
Okay, thanks.
And typically it's a travel credit. So read that very closely, because many clients, when they cancel, they want their cash back. And that's not usually the case. You have to pay a higher rate if you want a fully refundable. And of course, the cost of the insurance is never refundable. So make sure you're paying really close attention if it's fully refundable, or if you can have a future travel credit to use. All right, so VRBO,
awesome,
you're welcome. VRBO and Airbnb. So we can, as travel agents, book directly through VRBO and Airbnb because it is set up for the end consumer. The logins are set up in a way that whoever is logging in is signing the contracts, it has the credit card in their name, and is responsible. So you would never want to do that under your name for your client in the event, I hope that would never happen, but your client, maybe breaks something or is responsible. You don't want to be responsible personally. And that's the reason also that we don't put our credit cards on file, or we don't put any kind of liability onto us directly for that property or for that booking. So let me give you just an example with VRBO and Airbnb. Typically, any of the properties that are listed on here are available on multiple platforms. So people usually don't just list on VRBO or just Airbnb. They list through multiple platforms. And actually, when they're listed on there, many management companies contact them to be a property manager for their properties. So you're going to see on VRBO and Airbnb, Vacasa is on there. A few other property management companies that we work with are going to be in here. So what I always have people do, and let's just say, I'm going to use Orlando for an example. And I always tell myself that I'm going to look for one in advance so I can give you a perfect example. But let's just wing it. And you'll see what I'm talking about, even if I don't find a Vacasa property. Jaleesa, you're very correct. And I'm going to show you that in just a moment. To find VRBO inventory, you can actually find it on Expedia tab and in Classic Vacations. So I am going to show you how to do that as well in just a moment. Thank you very much. All right, so we are going to just search through here. I'm going to try to find one with a really catchy title. So this isn't a super catchy title, but it says smart home, and that might be the key here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one up. And this is going to work the exact same way with Airbnb as well. So we pretty much all know how this works. You have your first set of photos here. VRBO is for the public. Yes, VRBO is for the public. Travel agents actually can't sell from VRBO directly. But many clients go on here and search and they find something that they like. So it's a really good resource for research. All right, so a little bit about this rental. It's going to tell you all of the setup, information about the rental. In here, you're going to see the host. And as I said, it didn't work out so well, but that's okay. So this is hosted just by a person. If it was hosted by a property management company like Vacasa, or there are a few other ones, you could Google that property management company and look and see if you can book with that property management company directly. And many times that works out. Many property management companies do work with travel agents. So you can call them up, let them know that you're a travel agent and see if they have commissionable rates. Very important, you ask for commissionable rates versus travel agent rates. Many times travel agent rates means you as the travel agent are the one traveling, and so they give your rate, and when your client goes to check in, they ask for your travel agent identification. So really important, the difference between those two labels. Again, you're going to see all the amenities, everything about the property, the price, all of that's going to be available here. And then here are the fees, aside from VRBO and Airbnb have their own fees as well. So there are a couple different things you can do here. You could, if it was a property management company, you could Google them and look for it that way. If you aren't able to find that, you can also take the title of the home, because again, they pretty much sell or share the title of the home across those multiple platforms. This one might be a little common. I'm hoping with the smart home, it might be okay. So VRBO popped up. I don't know. This one kind of looks the same, just with no lights on from a different angle. So that's probably the same. So booking.com, again, we don't use booking.com. Of course, it's on Airbnb. Aloha Villas, that may be something. I've never really looked into them. But here you can see the other platforms that it may be on as well. Some of them are going to show it on Expedia. It may pop up on Classic Vacations. You can look for a platform that you know that you can book through. Or you could just look for one like Aloha Villas and just check in and see if they have rates for travel agents. So that's one way. The next way is going to be actually sending a message to the host, letting them know, hi, I'm a travel agent. My clients love your home. They really want to be able to book with you. However, their budget is, let's see, how much is this? Let me move my chat out of the way. Their budget is, we'll say $3,600. Might be a little low, but it's okay to start there. Can you work with me to meet that budget? Most of them are going to say, absolutely. I can issue you a deal for that amount, or I can't do 3,600, but I could do 3,800. So you're still saving $300. So you could charge a $200 commission and still save them $100. $100 is $100, right? So you're getting a really good deal. Now, when the host extends you an offer, that offer is going to come to you directly in your sign-in. So you're going to have a VRBO account personally, but not as a travel agent. So if your clients agree to that, then what you'll do is you'll go in and you will ask that host to transfer that booking to your client. You are going to do that after they agree to purchase that and after you collect the commissions. So you'll tell them, I got you a great price. I was able to save you $200. You're going to notice two charges on your card. One is going to be through my company directly, and that's how I got you this great booking. And the other one is going to come through VRBO directly that you are going to process. And that's how you're going to get your commission. You understand how that works? So basically you're working out a deal to be able to get commission for that property. You could also ask the host if they have another portal that they book with that allows for travel agents to book through. I try not to ask in that direct manner because I don't want to upset VRBO, or I don't want to upset them and them let VRBO know. I would assume that's against their policy. I haven't read their policy, but you just want to be really careful and really respectful also of VRBO. Jasmine asked what?
Excuse me.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Go ahead. My question is, I didn't quite get when you said about transferring the reservation or the booking. Do you mean that we book it under our account, personal account in VRBO, and then can you explain that part? I didn't quite follow you there.
No, absolutely. So when you message the host can extend to you the discount. What you're going to do is you're going to let the host know what your client's name is. You could also have your client message the host through their VRBO account and let them know that you are their travel agent and that you have a deal that you are looking to have extended to them. And so what they can do is they can just give that deal directly to them in their account.
So is our customer booking this with the discounted rate themselves through their account?
Yes.
Okay.
So they are signing all of the contracts. It's kind of like a last ditch way to make sure, that you can still get that booking. It's kind of a last effort if it's not available anywhere else.
And you were saying we do this after we get our service charge?
I always do, yes. I always charge the service charge and then I extend that to them and make sure to go through that VRBO booking with them. And you could even do it on Zoom if you'd like. You could say, okay, let's jump on Zoom. Let's finish this portion. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Jasmine, what benefits do you tell the client when you're trying to get info about the rental to check out if it's listed by a property management company? Are there any benefits to the, oh, I guess I don't know what you're asking. Are there any benefits to the client? So they're still getting that same booking. You aren't telling the client to go through the property management company. When there's a property management company, you're doing it already. Okay, Justin, perfect. I already answered it. Great, thanks. Sharon, so do we do the reservation on our account and then ask them to transfer it? Okay, I think I answered that question too. All right, good. Good. Let's see. Stacy asked. Oh, good point, Stacy. If anything goes wrong, they're not waiting on an individual owner to handle things. Yes. The benefits of being a travel agent, absolutely. Okay. Give me just one moment. I have somebody at the door. Hold on.
Amy, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you used VRBO a lot?
I've used it for bookings probably 4 or 5 times. I've used it personally quite a bit before I became a travel agent, but for clients, yes, I have.
Okay, and you feel comfortable with it?
I'm comfortable with it. I have heard the horror stories of VRBO. Unfortunately, it's not just VRBO. I try not to book through any that don't have any reviews. So I'm really careful with looking at reviews and looking at current reviews, if that's kind of what you're leading to. I mean,
Well, I just know that personally, a year ago, my girlfriends and I went on a trip to Charleston, South Carolina, and we booked the VRBO, and we stayed at a villa that got broken into while we were there. And they wouldn't. The gal that had booked it couldn't leave a review because she gave us all our money back and paid for us to stay somewhere else if we didn't leave a review. So that just makes me nervous now, and you try to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a break-in and her to give your money back without leaving a review, that kind of protected her a little. If it happens a lot, I would like to know. So I completely understand where you're coming from. Yeah, you just have to really be careful with the reviews. I guess, I don't know if having no review or a bad review is worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I put my 2 cents in about Verbo too? I don't like Verbo either because I personally rented a Verbo in Philadelphia, and when I was getting ready to go, he changed it, and it was a company. They changed the location, and the location they sent us to. Oh my God, the house was nice, but it was molded. Didn't have furniture. The furniture was tore up. I called and complained to Verbo, and they really didn't help either. So
Right.
because the management company changed the location, so the location that I rented it through wasn't updated. So it was a big mess. So I don't.
Yeah, it does happen, and it happens even outside of VRBO. So I understand there are some frustrations. I have had good luck, thankfully. But things do happen. I've had a booking through VAX where the locations have been changed, and you really just, you live and learn, and you remember that management company and you don't use them anymore. So that can happen, and I'm very sorry if you had a bad experience. All right, so hold on just a second. I have to get this ad off my screen. I don't know what this Windows 11 update has done to me, but all right, so Jamie asked, how did that happen through VAX? I actually booked a home through VAX. VAX for very few areas have homes. And so I booked a home and they were transferred to a condo and then to a hotel. So it can happen. Sometimes places are overbooked, but you as the travel agent, you're just ready to deal with that. And you do the best you can to find them the best location. Yeah, VAX does have some homes, very few, especially in the Orlando area. Yep. Orlando is really popular for homes because it's a family destination area, and it's really popular for that. Merlin, in just a few minutes at the end, when I open up for Q&A, I'll allow you to ask your general booking question. Absolutely, I don't mind helping. All right, so let me show you then classic vacations because they do have the VRBO inventory. Also, Expedia Tap has them. Expedia Tap, I don't use them a whole lot just because their commissions take a little longer for payout. Of course, it's the reduced 50% rate. But if you have to look through Expedia Tap, if that's the only place it is, the way you look for homes in Expedia Tap is you always put the number of occupants as 2. And you'll see all the VRBO inventory and all the homes pop up there. Let's see, do I have any questions? Oh, Kimberly, RoomRes just added vacation homes. Amazing, I had no idea. Thank you so much. All right, so classic vacations. This is in the Travel Cafe if you want to know how to register. I'm going to go ahead and sign in here to classic vacations. Yes, Jamie, that is true. Expedia Tap sometimes has some really great deals that you can't get on other sites. I completely understand. And I hope that very soon, I know that Ron and Jose and Reggie, I know that they're all working to get us back up to par with Expedia Tap. And I know Expedia Tap's working very hard to get back up to where they were before the pandemic. So hopefully our commissions are going to increase soon. I really hope so. So with classic vacations here, as you can see, you can book a luxury hotel and a vacation rental. When you look at the vacation rentals, it's going to tell you it's right through VRBO. It's going to give you the VRBO listing even. Many times it is the same price or very close. But again, you as a travel agent are providing a service. So even if it is the same price or very close to the same price, they're going to be able to call you if anything goes wrong. While they're at dinner, you can be resolving that. So just explain that that's your service. Each booking that they do on their own or that we do has a commission. So would they rather see a small business succeed and help you out with a commission? Or would they rather have those bigger companies take in all of that commission? So helping a small business is a really key selling point as well to being a travel agent. Christina, on Expedia Tap, your occupants or how many people or how many travelers, always use 2. When you use 2, that VRBO inventory pops up. So even if you have 10 travelers, select 2. All right, so we are going to, again, I'll just do Orlando just because I know that's quite an inventory. I think I did August 12th through the 19th. Guess it doesn't matter much because we're not comparing. 2 adults, 2 kids. And there's no rhyme and reason to the information I'm putting in. I'm just putting in a very basic booking. All right, so now let's look at, we have the apartments, we have houses. So best location downtown Orlando near a lake. If I were to click on this to open it up, again, I have all my search parameters here. So I can do any kind of search parameters. I can see you as a pool, a private tub, or a hot tub, a private pool. Some of them even say their own house, a condo. Right here, houses, condos, cabins, villas. If I click on any of these here, I'm going to stay away from the hotel ones because those aren't all VRBO. Go to an actual house here. No, you can select as many occupants as you want on classic vacation, Sierra. Yes. In fact, you're going to want to select your direct number of occupants. One thing I've learned, especially since the pandemic, is the number of occupants in these homes. I have a large family. I know what it's like to say you have 4 people in a hotel room and 4 other kids go through the back and we all, sleep in a sleeping bag on the floor. Absolutely know what that's like. I still sometimes push the limits. But for your clients, if they ask you to push the limits, it's really up to you. You can decide to do that booking or not do that booking, but I'm going to tell you, with the technology these days, there is a camera pointed right at the driveway, and they're going to count the number of people that go into that home because they are being held to very strict guidelines on the number of occupants. So please, as a travel agent, you should be honest. If you do what your client says and you get it in writing, the last thing that you want to do is book something with an occupant limit of 4 and they have 8 people and they be evicted because you don't get any refunds. So always just remember that. Even when you do the 2 occupants with Expedia Tap, the home itself will tell you how many. So even though you're only searching with 2, that home will come up and it'll say occupants 6. All right, so here is a home. It's going to have the same photos. It's going to have the same booking information. As you can see here, it's sourced by VRBO. If you scroll down, it looks almost exactly the same. You can see the owner's name. Some of them, once again, are the property management companies because they get that inventory right from VRBO. All of the amenities and the information. If you want to see your commission, and again, it's not going to be a huge commission. They typically do, I think it's 8 to 10% on the actual cost of the home. So no fees, none of the cleaning fees, none of those options. So if you click on, I believe it's on view details. This one is not, but here's the booking details. I think if you click on the actual book now, you're going to be able to see what the commission rate is. Yes, here's the commission then, $67.63. And again, if you want to charge more than that, if you got them a really good deal, or if that's within their budget, and you want to charge a commission outside of this and you're comfortable with that, go ahead. If you don't know already, you can actually charge booking fees or reservation fees, or some people call them research fees. Many of you have seen the flyer already, but Jody Worski, she just made $1 million in travel sales. Jody charges fees right up front. If you go to her jot form, she has many trainings on her YouTube. You're going to see when you fill out a client quote request, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take care of those research fees. She charges those so that she isn't, yeah, Jody is everyone's goal, right? She does amazing. If you're not subscribed to her YouTube, please do so. I can show you where her YouTube is. You can follow her on Facebook too, kind of see what she's posting or what she's doing. I try to be respectful as well and not impose too much. Let me go to her YouTube here. Yanni Cabrasia, I believe that's how you say her name. She does the fees as well, and she does really good with daily commissions. So, watch for those trainings. Right here is Jody's YouTube. She has many trainings on here. She does an amazing job. She shares almost everything that she does with us. That's absolutely amazing. I appreciate that she does that. So there is her YouTube link. She has trainings on how to charge those service fees, how to word those service fees. She uses a jot form as well as she uses Travelify, but she gives you the information. She lets you use her wording. She lets you use her jot form. So she is very, very helpful with that. So if this is a little low, if you spent a few hours on it and you'd like a little more, you can charge your own fees as well. So always keep that in mind. All right, is there any questions or anything additional that you would like to see? I know I went through VRBO and Airbnb just because those are the more popular. You can do, you know, Gatlinburg has a lot of cabins. They have a lot of places that book the cabins. Most of those are through Airbnb, VRBO, or property management companies. So you'll be able to find those exactly like I showed you with the Orlando examples. So I'm going to open it up to any questions. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. I want to thank everyone for joining me here.